progresses, and as the interests, needs, and abilities of children develop, modify and add to the existing areas to accommodate these changes.
One of the areas Becky and I have added to the classroom was the take apart and put together area. We noticed several of the children talking about helping their parents at home fix things. So we got some small appliances that didn't work anymore and we put them in the construction area. The children could take them apart with the tools, see what was inside of them, and then put them back together again.
The next step in arranging the play space is to choose materials for the activity areas you have defined. Choose materials that reflect children's interests. Since children learn best when they are actively involved in what they are doing, we must provide materials that reflect their interests. Encourage children to introduce and share materials they find interesting.
Thank you, Matthew.
Also, introduce or provide materials yourself that support children's immediate interests.
Do you know what that juice is called in a coconut?
No.
As children lose interest in materials over time, add new items that reflect their current interests. If children have lost interest in the papers and paints in the art area, for example, you may want to add some wood scraps for three-dimensional projects. Choose materials that are appropriate for the children's developmental levels. In every active learning setting, adults need to provide materials that will meet and extend children's existing levels of development. If we stock an area with books and puzzles that serve a wide developmental range, for example, we will meet the needs of more children. On the playground, having different kinds of wheeled toys available enables children of different ability levels to have the experience of riding. Since children are attracted to materials that challenge their existing skills and abilities, we should provide items that can be used in a variety of ways. Open-ended, non-specific materials like blocks, paper, wood scraps, string,
You want me to hold it? Okay.
boxes of all sizes, cardboard tubes, glue, and tape. Encourage children to be creative and solve problems.
You fixed it. You put it back together. I see.
Providing multiple sets of materials or multiple copies of single items will prevent conflicts about who uses popular materials and tools. It's also important to choose materials that support the different types of play that are typical of young children.
So, close your eyes.
We know that children engage in different types of play based on their evolving thinking, reasoning, language, and social skills.
Ta-da!
Can I open them now?
Some types of play you might observe are exploratory play, in which children explore the properties and functions of materials and tools. Constructive play, in which children make and build things. And socio-dramatic play, or pretending.
Okay, Tom, you try it now.
We need to provide materials that support each of these kinds of play.
Looks a little bit wet in the back to me.
Provide such items as tissue paper and water,
Let's see what happens when I put some blue in.
modeling dough, and garlic presses for exploratory play.
Hey, you're doing good!
Large hollow blocks and a steering wheel for constructive play. And dress-up clothes,
Did you already have money?
Yeah.
Oh!
pieces of fabric, corks, bowls, and old computer keyboards for socio-dramatic play.
He was building a hot rod over there with the red
We have
blocks.
some birthday cake.
Oh, yeah, I sure would. Usually when people give me birthday...
As you plan for children's socio-dramatic play, choose materials that reflect the experiences and cultures of children in the program.
There goes the fish, run!
Young children love to imitate. Adults need to understand children's home cultures in order to stock the activity areas with the adult-sized tools and other things children see the important people in their lives using each day.
I cut all of it off. Cut all of it off.
In choosing materials that represent people's lives and backgrounds, remember that the materials should reflect human diversity in an unbiased way. having photographs, books, magazines, dress-up clothes, dolls, play figures, and other materials that represent people from a wide range of backgrounds can help children begin to understand that there are many differences in people. Avoid materials that present stereotypes of genders or groups. It's important for children to see examples of a wide range of people in a wide range of family and job roles.
There you go, Alex.
A final consideration for choosing materials is to make sure materials and equipment are safe, clean, and well maintained.
Let's go wash our hands now.
The safety and good health of children are of paramount importance in any program. Follow licensing requirements when selecting materials and equipment, always considering the twin issues of safety and durability. Routinely check the safety and cleanliness of your materials and equipment and make sure they receive adequate maintenance. Once materials are selected, think carefully about how you will store them. If we want to support children's active involvement with materials, we must make them accessible. Therefore, store materials so that children can reach them. Place materials on the floor in sturdy containers or on low, open shelves so children can locate the materials themselves. Conversely, materials that we don't want children to use should be stored out of the children's reach. Use see-through containers to store materials in plain view. Children will often make choices about what they want to play with based on what they see. Storing materials in plain view allows children to feel in control of their environment and enables them to follow through on their own ideas and interests. Although commercially produced containers are available for this purpose, materials can also be stored in clear containers such as sweater storage boxes, 1-liter pop bottles, freezer storage containers, and in open containers like baskets with or without handles, and boxes without lids. Large materials like hollow wooden blocks can be stored on the floor or on low open shelves. To make it easy for children to find, use, and return materials, make sure materials are consistently stored in the same place. Labeling containers or an object's place on a shelf or the floor is one strategy for assuring consistency. Include a variety of labels, such as drawings, tracings, catalog pictures, photographs, the material itself, or word labels. To secure labels to the shelves or the containers, use clear contact paper, or laminate the labels and tape them to the shelves. Either strategy will allow you to save and recycle labels. In the last few minutes, we have discussed guidelines for establishing activity areas that promote developmentally appropriate, active learning experiences for young children. The guidelines fall in 3 major categories. Guidelines for arranging the play space. Divide the space into defined areas. Choose names for the areas that children can understand. Establish visual boundaries. In developing a floor plan, consider the fixed elements of the physical setting and the traffic flow within and between the areas. Plan the areas to accommodate many types of play. Modify the areas throughout the year. Guidelines for choosing materials. Choose materials that reflect children's interests. Choose materials that are appropriate for the children's developmental levels. Provide items that can be used in a variety of ways. Choose materials that support the different types of play that are typical of young children. Choose materials that reflect the experiences and cultures of children in the program. Choose materials that reflect human diversity in an unbiased way. Make sure materials are safe, clean, and well maintained. Guidelines for storing materials. Store materials so that children can reach them. Use see-through containers to store materials in plain view. Make sure materials are consistently stored in the same place. label containers, or an object's place on a shelf or floor. In each category, we have offered a variety of practical suggestions, but the most important guideline is this: children learn best by planning and engaging in activities of their own choosing, supported by well-informed adults who understand the child's needs and the importance of establishing an active learning environment. Adults who provide such an environment lay the foundation for age-appropriate learning experiences, enabling children not only to develop, strengthen, and extend their skills, abilities, and social interactions, but also to enjoy the active learning process.